Hello, mutants. I'm Mutisha, the movie goddess, and you're watching Mutant TV.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the directors of Just Your Tracking. Woo! Levi Paratech and Dan Kinham.
Yes.
So, if you have any, I don't know, you guys want to say anything beforehand, or?
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's a blast.
Well, thanks for coming, and and if anyone has any questions, like, you can ask them now.
What made you decide to make the documentary? Start there.
Well, like, I was getting heavily involved in, like, collecting tapes myself. I started realizing, like, how many movies weren't on DVD and probably never would be, and going to video stores, and, like, then I realized, like, by meeting other collectors and, like, kind of getting, like, deep into this community that this was entertaining and, like, worthwhile, like, to make a movie about it. So then we teamed up with some other people, and it kind of became, like, a huge community effort. Like, a lot of people chipped in and, like, helped us out. I don't know, like, if you saw, but we did, like, a Kickstarter and stuff like that, and so, yeah.
Yes.
How many movies do each of you guys have VHS tapes?
I'll go first. I probably have like a couple hundred. Mine's like in the hundreds.
Okay.
But you go ahead and say your number first, and I'll say why mine's so small.
I have about 8,000.
So, like, I keep mine small because I just borrow movies from him, and that way I can, like, see as many rare movies as I want and not have to, like, pay the outrageous prices for them. So I'm, like, saving thousands per year, like.
Yeah. Anything else?
About how long did it take from beginning, the genesis of the idea, and then putting it all together and getting the movie done?
About a year start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah, we started in January last year, January 2012, right?
Yeah.
And then we finished it, our first screening was in April, so, yes.
I know you guys, when you guys were filming, you guys went a lot of places and hit a lot of places for VHS. Along the road, the entire time you guys were filming, what was the craziest VHS you found on the road?
Craziest?
Yeah, that one's kind of hard.
Or I'll say most super rare. I'll say that.
Super rare. I found, like, we didn't have a lot of luck on that trip. We went to a lot of stores and called a lot of different places, but we didn't find anything super insane. I got, like, Blood Tide on Planet Video, like, big box. That was cool. I got Robot Ninja. I was happy about that. And just some other things, like some things that I had been wanting to see, but yeah, nothing, like, out of this world. Yeah. So.
What's your favorite cover art?
Favorite cover? That's...
Aside from Yog.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Yog is great.
I have a lot. I mean, I love Black Devil Doll from Hell. I love 555. I love, like, the Housegeist, like, boarding house, like, big box. And, I mean, I'm big into, like, I really love when it's, like, an image that doesn't have anything to do with the movie. And then I'm also love when it's, like, a really badly painted art, so.
Yeah. And I like any like title put out by, like, BCR. Like, I like that their cover arts look like kind of like comic books, like Cannibal Island, like, looks just like a page out of, like, a comic book. So those are, like, really cool. And then, like, I don't know if I like this cover, but I, like, find this cover, like, kind of, like, strange, like the porno Who Reamed Rosie Rabbit.
Yeah.
Where it, like, promotes it as, like, a Roger Rabbit porno, and they have, like, this naked girl standing with, like, this, like super terrifying cartoon rabbit, like, drawn on, and it's like it
kind of scary.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, ruins your childhood memories, but yeah. You back first, didn't it?
Me?
Yes, yes.
Well, I couldn't help but notice a lot of the collectors that were interviewed were men. Did you have trouble finding women collectors in this genre?
We did have, like, some trouble. I mean, like, we put out on, like, websites and stuff like that. We tried to, like, promote that we were making the movie as much as possible and for people to reach out to us. And then we got a lot of people that were in there, and then from that we, like, asked them if they knew anyone. And I think we probably got 4 girls in total who, like, collected, and then some, like, that worked at video stores and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we would have loved to get more, but they didn't. Like, we didn't have any, like, contact information or anything. Since then, though, through doing screenings and stuff like that, I mean, we've met, like, a ton more and stuff like that, so.
You had that question.
I saw, there were some prominent people in the VHS culture, like the Everything is Terrible guys and the trauma people. Was there anybody that you guys approached or wanted to interview that you didn't get to, that were,
There was like somebody asked the same question last night. There was there's only like a couple people, and the one was like Charles Band. He was like all over the place.
He was like doing the new Puppet Master when we were in LA, and like it didn't work out, and it was like a huge like disaster trying to work it out.
And then there was a VHS collector who remained nameless on the trading group. He was a big prominent name.
And he used to do like a zine, and he has a website and stuff.
He had a website, and he got terminally ill, and he died. And PayPal was started because his rent was overdue, and the landlord was going to throw all of his stuff out just like in the trash. So they started this PayPal, send in money, so we can save his like collection and everything. And then 6 months later, he pops back up online alive.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were kind of confused by that. It's like, you died, we send money to you.
I saw a picture of him in the hospital like a couple weeks before he died too, like
exactly.
looking ill.
Yeah, so
Touch my stomach.
so he comes back to life, and we contacted him and
Yeah.
asked if we could do an interview. And up until the day before we were going to his house, we were going to interview him. And he was going to buy us Chinese. We got to hang out at his place, which had air conditioning. And then all of a sudden, oh, you guys can't come. I'm moving this day. And he had known for months, and yeah. So,
I haven't talked to him since,
so
that didn't work out.
Alive or dead, we don't know. So.
Anything else, or?
Yes.
Okay.
What made you decide to take the movie on the road?
Well, I like that idea. It kind of reminds me of like what they did in like the drive-in days with like taking like a film print from city to city, and like it's kind of just like an excuse for us to like meet a lot of people and kind of I like the interactive like bringing tapes. Like it's a lot of people who like watch the movie then want to like start collecting or maybe like buy tapes or like talk to us. So that's like kind of cool that we get to like be face to face with people rather than just sending it off and.
And film festivals are expensive.
Yeah, every film festival we've shown it in has like they've approached us like we didn't have a budget at all for like festivals.
So and like with like a film festival, we can't like come out and like sell tapes or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is kind of like a backdoor alternative way of getting it like out there. So anything else?
Is the film going to be available? Maybe even on VHS eventually?
Yes. We're planning, nothing's set in stone yet, but we'd like to have something out by the end of the year. VHS
and
DVD, possibly Blu-ray, but if it's going to come out on a Blu-ray, I'm going to make sure the transfer of the film is like transfer from like super slow EP, so the quality is even worse. I want the Blu-ray to look worse than all of them. So yeah.
He didn't seem too happy about it. He said,
No, I'll be fine with
Yeah.
it. I'll be fine.
What'd you guys film with?
We shot on Panasonic like HD, like full like big thing. Shot on like P2 flash cards. We shot on that. We didn't shoot it in HD. We shot it on a standard def because we figured we were transferring it to VHS when we were all done, so there's no point in having it in HD because it won't be seen that way. So we shot it in standard definition, and then we edited the whole movie, and then we transferred it from the computer onto a VHS, and then from the VHS back onto the computer, and that's what gives you that VHS camcorder feel. Mm-hmm. It fools a lot of people. So.
Yeah, and it matched the we actually have a VHS camcorder that we filmed some of the B-roll and stuff with, and like it matched up perfectly. Like we were able to blend the two without like it being obvious.
So like DVC Pro 50 or what?
Yeah. Yes.
What's the most money each of you have paid for a tape, and what's the rarest tape that each of you own?
I think the most I've spent is like maybe $15 to $20, and that was for a Grandpa Presents tape, one of those like terrible basically this budget company in New Jersey put out a bunch of public domain horror movies, and they got Al Lewis, who played Grandpa Munster, to horror host them, and so I go after those. And probably the rarest tape I have is also Munsters related. It was given to me by a 15-year-old VHS collector named Johnny Dickey, and he handed me a tape last time I was in Philadelphia, and it just says in like whiteout on the side of the tape, Munsters makeup audition. So I stuck it in the VCR, and this guy by the name of Jon Stewart, not Daily Show Jon Stewart, another Jon Stewart, in the early 2000s was auditioning for some Munsters thing. Like, he wanted to be like a makeup artist, so he dressed himself up as in full makeup as Grandpa and Herman Munster, and then like got a green screen and like made a 3-minute episode of the Munsters all himself. He did everything, and he actually went to a convention and got Butch Patrick to play Eddie. So like he recreated the intro, and he got like Butch Patrick to like walk on a green screen with a giant baseball bat, and like, you know, 50-year-old Butch Patrick like playing Eddie, and like, so it's 3 minutes long in black and white, and then it's over, and then it starts up again, same thing but in color. So it's only like 6 minutes long, and that's like my favorite tape.
Oh my God.
Like,
follow-up question: will you put that on YouTube for us all?
I will. I want to try to track down Jon Stewart first, like, and see like what's up with that. I haven't gotten around to that yet. And now, Dan, your half.
Yeah, the most I've ever spent for a tape, I've spent $100 for a few tapes, but I spent $200 one time, and it was for Mama's Home, and like that's just super rare. And like it was like an impulse buy, really. Like I was just like, I need this, and like I probably shouldn't have spent that much money, but like I'm happy that I have it. And like that's one of the rarest. I have Black Devil Doll from Hell, and then like Lunch Meat, Big Box, and like some other ones, and some recorded tapes that like I guess like might not be worth anything to anyone else, but like I guess are like priceless. Some old like recorded off of TV stuff that like I love. So. Oh yeah. True.
Yes.
It's obvious from like the documentary that most of the people that are VHS collectors also tend to be genre collectors, like horror and sci-fi and stuff. So I have two questions. One, which is, why do you think those two things come together? And then two, did you meet anybody when you were doing this that didn't collect anything like that they only collected like romantic comedy VHS?
I'll answer the second part. Dan can answer the first. In the second part of the question, Phil Blankenship, who's the guy who with the smelly tape, he goes after like erotic thrillers. He's big into those, and his girlfriend, she didn't want to be interviewed. We asked her. She collects dramas and romance films, so they're big into that. And they were kind of the only people we met who like went after that. I mean, there are, you know, you have your older men who go after westerns, you know, who just like they want to see as many westerns as they can, so they like collect westerns. So I mean, they're out there.
Yeah.
So.
And you get some people who go after like wrestling and like music videotapes and stuff like that. But to answer like the first part, I think like we tried to kind of like get it across in the movie, but like a lot of people, especially for like genre cinema, like video was just perfect for that genre. Like it was a whole world of like crazy artwork that you could do that was really memorable to people, and also like the VHS aesthetic, like for a horror movie, it really works. It's got that like fuzzy, you can't quite make out what's going on. It's kind of like an extra level of like scariness added to the movie, and that's why I think genre stuff specifically works great on VHS, because like, I mean, some of my favorite movies, I wouldn't really want to watch them on VHS. Like Fanny and Alexander, or like a lot of like foreign or like art house movies. Like I watch those on DVD because that's like what they were made for. I mean, like really high, if I can't see them in the theater, of course. But like movies, like horror movies or like kung fu and stuff, those were, I mean, made to look, I guess, bad, a lot of them, and like so VHS really works for that, and it kind of brings people back to renting, like in their youth.
Yes.
How much did you raise Untold through Kickstarter, and was that the entirety of the funding, or was there funding elsewhere?
The initial funding for the movie was our own money. We made a couple bootleg DVDs that we sold, and we raised a little bit of money through that, and that's what started us off. That was about $2,000. And with that, we shot the first half of the documentary, which would involve 2 trips to New York City, Philadelphia, and New Jersey. That's where we got like our first bulk of them. And through that footage, we threw together our first trailer. And we said, you know, let's just do the Kickstarter for the hell of it. So what if it doesn't work? So the plan was, if the Kickstarter didn't go off, we were just going to finish the documentary with what we had. If the Kickstarter went through, then we're going to travel the country with the money. And because I was taking all the equipment from the university I went to, we didn't have to pay for any of the equipment. We had all of it. It was all, we had access to it. So we would use the money for gas. So we asked for $3,000, and we ended up getting like $3,800. So.
And that, like, I factored in like exactly how much it would cost for gas around the country, and I mean, we got it, and like, I mean, getting more than what our goal was, we never thought that would happen. I mean, a lot of people really reached out and helped, and like, we couldn't have made the movie really without the people that did donate and help us. So. Yeah.
What part of the country are you from?
We're from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yes.
One, you mentioned the first part before Kickstarter went through of your shooting. How long was that shooting schedule? And then once the Kickstarter came through, how long was your whole schedule?
The shooting schedule, the first we did about 20 interviews in 4 days. And then when we went back to New York, it was probably about 15 more in maybe the same amount of time. And then we did our third set, which was the around the country, which was 21 days, and we probably got
50 interviews.
50 interviews maybe. And there was a couple, you know, like the VHS convention we went to, that was like a 1-day trip. And then there was a couple people who we, you know, said, you know, we need a better interview with you, so we went out for like a weekend trip. So probably like all in all, probably about a month of shooting, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, which I don't suggest. Like,
don't do that.
A lot of interviews to do in a short
I mean,
period
like
of time.
last year we would do, I remember specifically, and like one day we left, we went from like Austin, Texas to Louisiana, and then all the way up to like North Carolina, and did like 3 interviews, like all back to back. And, you know, so we did like 5 interviews in one day. Mm-hmm. And it was like the most exhausting thing in the world.
Yeah,
like
a lot of 24-hour straight drives too.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're shooting a documentary, please plan as much time as you possibly can into it. This was our first, and we won't do it again.
Yeah, like that way.
Yeah. Yes.
2 questions. Number 1, I heard what you said about film festivals, and I don't know if you talked about the possibility of a theatrical release, but any possibility this could get shown on TV like PBS or something? And then the second question is, do you have plans for another movie?
The TV, we're not going to go into specifics, but we've had an offer for a TV distribution. It's more of one of the advanced lineup cable channels. I don't think PBS would appreciate the brief clip I have of gay porn. That might be a little bit too much for the viewers. And for the second part, we're not going to go into specifics again. But we've had a few ideas for a documentary. One which during the movie was screening we had talked about and we might actually pursue. So we want to thank Jay here for telling us about a specific person who we may pursue for our next topic. So
yeah, but it'll be similar, like genre stuff.
Yeah, genre. It'd be about movies. So
Yeah. The other thing is, in terms of hardware, nobody makes VHS tape anymore, right?
They do.
A company that does.
Yeah, there's a company that does. They still make the clamshells, the plastic cases for them. People like Massacre Video, Louis Justin, who's in the movie, he puts out tapes on VHS. He's done a release of the movie 555, Orozco, Demon Queen, and he's in October. He's doing the release of Tales from the Quad Dead Zone and Black Devil Doll from Hell. So it'll be finally coming out on DVD. So
and VHS.
What about VCRs? Does anybody make VCRs?
Yeah, you can get online Blu-ray and VCR combos.
Yeah. Also, if anybody wants VCRs in the car right now, I have 2 for sale. One is in used but in really nice shape, and the other one is like the top of the box has been open, but the plastic has not been removed from the VCR or anything. It is brand new. So if you are interested, let me know. We'll talk price, and I'll go out to the car and get them for you. I'll even carry it to your car for you.
How about like a top loader?
No, they're not. I wish if I would like if I found a top loader, I would keep it. But
I need to find one still. I need to find a beta player too.
I actually found one. It was a it's kind of like this big, and it was from a rental store. It was one of the ones that you could rent. So like a plastic, looks like a briefcase has been put over it with like faux like crocodile skin print on it, but it doesn't work. So I think I gave it to Dan or something.
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, he threw it out. So yeah. Yes.
I'm just curious of the attitude tape collectors have with like private work sites like Cinemageddon and things like that. Does it feel like it kills the hunt or the fun of the hunt, or?
Well, the person who set up the screening yesterday and who we stayed with is like big into that. His like whole purpose of collecting is finding tapes that haven't been archived on torrent sites and stuff, and like putting them on there for other people to enjoy. Because I mean, yeah, a lot of collectors and that collector mentality is like, I want the original copy, but I mean, if you just want to see the movie and like if you want to share that, there might only be like 50 real copies of the movie out there in the world, but if you want a lot of people to experience that, then I mean, torrent sites are great. And I mean, I've used some, like, if I really need to see the movie and it's impossible for me to get, then I'm definitely going to a torrent site to see if anyone else has found a copy. But I mean, of course, like, being like collectors, I mean, they want like a physical copy, like I said, but it's a good alternative.
Yeah, I mean, like, a collector can find like a super rare tape, and in the idea he's preserving it, he saved it, he's keeping it in his personal collection, but it's also, the tape has gone from like one dead end to like almost another, because if that one person has that tape and he's not sharing it, then only that person enjoys it, not everybody can enjoy it. It's not there for everybody. So anything else?
I was gonna. Does anybody have? Because I was gonna say, these guys are gonna be here out in the lobby. I want to take care of a little bit of business beforehand. But so let's give them another round of applause.